Hey guys, I didn't even see you there. I was just practicing my piano skills and when a thought came to me. How will our generation be remembered in history? Well, I asked a few people today and this is how they responded. So Kylie, how do you think our generation will be remembered in about 50 years?
I think our generation is going to be remembered as wanting change, but not necessarily knowing the means to get it.
Thank you.
Our generation will be remembered for the social media and phones that we use and for lower attention spans.
This is the style of our generation. Man.
Go.
Hi, this is Austin here. I'm with my good friend Carly. Now, can you please tell me, fashion-wise, how do you think we are as a generation? How do you think we wear our clothes?
As a generation, I think we have maintained a lot of the old fashion that we used to have, but we have new ones, such as bucket hats, leggings, elite socks. But we still have some of the basics like jeans, high-waisted shorts.
And do you think now that males are starting to wear a lot of female clothing, such as like short shorts, like you see that a lot now, and like headbands, and they're also growing the hair out, like that was not really a thing, that was back in the 70s. What do you think, what's your opinion on that?
Our opinion on men wearing women clothing?
I mean, not necessarily woman clothing, but just growing out the hair and wearing the headbands that are mostly, you know,
I think
like
it's a repeat of fashion because people did that in the 70s and they definitely wore short shorts.
Yeah, I
so
agree, yeah.
fashion tends to repeat itself, but always bring a twist.
Thank you. Well, that's all. And here you can see a girl wearing a typical athletic outfit. And now we see the very sexy frat boy look. The leggings and Tories look, mostly sported by young ladies. My favorite outfit to personally sport is the Hawaiian cargo combination. Now last, but certainly not least, is the my mom bought me this outfit. So Anna, how do you think pop culture influenced us today?
I don't want to do this. I don't.
There you have it, folks. There you have it. Oh.
Delete it.
Now, the purpose of that video wasn't to demonstrate my love life, how women run from me, but it's to demonstrate how she didn't like to get her feet wet in new ideas, just like we don't. So Jack, economy-wise and business-wise, what are your outlooks on that for how we will be remembered in the future?
Well, I think that this generation is really going to be remembered in the fact that, like, it started out, the people that are doing this are starting out really young. We're having, like, the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Bill Gates and stuff that are starting these technology companies, which is going to be the ones that are most remembered. They're starting them really young, and they're starting them from scratch. So we're in, like, a generation where things aren't, like, legacy, but where people are bringing up new ideas.
I like that. Thank you. This is our outlook on business by Jack. That's all. Now, it's not true that everyone in our generation doesn't like to get their feet wet once in a while and experience new things and go in the unknown, but a lot of people do. But like people like Mark Zuckerberg making Facebook and many other people creating, young people creating inventions, you know, it's awesome.
Austin?
So my question for you is, back when you were a kid, in your generation of children, how do they act differently compared to us, this generation now, when they're teenagers?
I think overall kids are the same throughout generations. You want to have fun. There's not as much focus on serious schoolwork, but I think that's happened throughout time. The biggest difference I notice is respect. And I've noticed that even in the last 23 years of teaching that students don't have the respect for not only adults, teachers, their parents, but for themselves and for their peers. And I think that's the biggest problem.
Okay, thank you. And my next question is, future generations, how do you think they would look at us as a generation as a whole?
Well, I think through time, as we look back, for example, you look back at my generation and as children and said, oh, they were a bunch of nerds. I think that your kids are going to look at you the same way, because I think that's just kind of a series of thought as you go from one generation to another.
Well, thank you. That's all for today. So, Alec, what do you think of this generation?
I'm very disappointed with it.
There you have it, folks. Now, I know that some historians in the future will look down upon our generation, thinking of us as a disappointment, but I also think that most of the historians in the future would definitely look at us as one of the greater generations for all of our advancements in the categories and entertainment, our fashion. We'll be looked at as one of the more fun and creative, and basically we have our own individuality. I think that's how we will be looked at in the future.